views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hi everyone, welcome to Mission BX. Mission BX is a collaboration between the Center for Bronx Nonprofits at Hostos Community College and BronxNet. And we are thrilled to be back in the field. After many months of not being in the field, here we are. And we couldn't be starting with a better program to start our time in the field again. Today, we're up on a roof here at Hunts Point, and we're going to be interviewing a number of people, including the executive directors from the HOPE program. The HOPE program is a program that affords people opportunities to get well-paying and interesting jobs in the field of environmental work. So come with us and meet wonderful people doing wonderful work all over the city. Hi everyone, this is Eileen Newman again, your host for Mission BX, and we're going to be speaking with Jennifer Mitchell, who is the executive director of the HOPE program, the program that is doing amazing things here in the Bronx. So Jennifer, thank you so much for doing this, because you're a little busy today.
Just always.
We're on the rooftop in Hunts Point of the Bronx. But Jennifer, tell me, before we even talk about the rooftop, which is why I'm wearing this stunning outfit here on the roof.
You do look gorgeous.
Tell me about the HOPE program and just everything about how it began. And
Great. Well, thank you for having me here today, Eileen. I'm thrilled. I have actually been executive director of the HOPE program for a decade. This month, October, will be 10 years. And so I'm really proud of the work the HOPE program does. We have a nearly 40-year history of working with unemployed New Yorkers of all different backgrounds, with all different issues and struggles, but one thing in common: they all want to get a job and build a career and build brighter futures for themselves and their families. And so for nearly 40 years, we have been providing people with the confidence and the skills and the training and the networks to not only get that first job, but to build a career. And so we run 6 programs. Many of them have green economy facets to them, but they're all holistic and very comprehensive.
so tell me about the 6 programs before you tell me about this program.
Sure. So our signature program that we have run for the longest amount of time is called HOPE Works, and it's a general work readiness program. And so it gives people all the basic skills they need for getting a job, keeping a job, from how to deal with conflict in the workplace, what it means to get up on time and communicate well. They prep a resume and a cover letter and a thank you note. They get digital literacy. Some folks that come to our program have never worked on a computer before, and by the end they're very competent and confident in using G Suite and their Gmail account. We do financial empowerment, so people know how to what to do with their money when they start earning money. We do work wellness and wraparound services like case management and mental health referrals and all of that. So in each one of our programs, we do all this comprehensive stuff. HOPE Works is the signature one that's general work readiness. The next one that I'll talk about is Sustainable South Bronx. We partnered with Sustainable South Bronx, which was an organization, a standalone organization by itself, and is now a program of the HOPE programs that trains people in construction jobs, custodial maintenance jobs, property management jobs, and so that's another one of our great programs. We also run Intervine, which is a transitional employment program where people are paid to do work in places like Concrete Plant Park and rainwater pollinator gardens, and so they're getting paid, getting certifications, getting all the wraparound services that I named, and then getting jobs out in the world doing horticulture, energy efficiency, those type of things. our next program that I'll talk about is Youth Build. It is our newest program right this second, and we got a major grant from U.S. Department of Labor to expand it, and that works with 18 to 24-year-olds who, at the same time they're getting this workforce training, they're also getting their high school equivalency with us and leadership opportunities. And so that program is great and growing and being expanded, and we're thrilled about that. Our newest program that opens in a couple weeks is in partnership with NYCERDA, and that is training people in high efficiency HVAC systems, which is also a green element.
It's a perfect time.
Yeah, it really is. And then, of course, the program we're here today to talk about, Cool Roofs. We've been operating in 7 years in partnership with New York City Small Business Services, and it is about a transitional employment program where people get paid to paint rooftops, get industry recognized certifications, and so they're making the city greener and cleaner and healthier while also earning money and getting the skills they need to get a full-time permanent job and build a career.
So I have to ask you just personally, did you know, how did you find out about all of these jobs and especially the Cool Roofs program? And were you involved with environmental work before?
So my personal story actually is many years ago, I was an environmental policy major in college, and then I graduated and went to the Peace Corps in Nicaragua and did environmental education. And I realized when I was down there that it's really hard for people to make space to care about the planet, the earth, their community, if they can't provide for their families, if they can't put food on the table. And so I then came back, went to grad school here in New York, and switched gears to workforce development. And so for about 15 years, I worked in the nonprofit workforce development space. And then when the opportunity came up 7 years ago to partner with Sustainable South Bronx and do green workforce development programming, I jumped at it because I'm kind of really like living out my dream, which is to like help people get jobs and build careers in a space that makes a difference to our planet.
Yeah, and now
frankly.
Couldn't be a better time.
No, it's perfect. It's like, it's a moment. It's a moment in time.
It is, and you're the perfect person for this. So,
well, I don't know about that. There's lots of great people, but thank you.
So tell me about Cool Roofs. I mean, we're up here in this amazing environment with all this painting going on.
Yeah.
Why? What is it?
So Cool Roofs is an amazing program. It is a win-win-win. It is a 10-week transitional employment program that's paid. So every year we serve 70 unemployed New Yorkers through our Cool Roofs program. They get paid for 10 weeks to do work on rooftops, painting them with this thick white coating that makes the buildings more energy efficient and the neighborhoods that have cool roof buildings cooler, right? So it's a win for this New York City and for the neighborhood, the heat vulnerable neighborhoods where we're working. It's also a win for the participants because they are earning money, getting money in their pockets. At the same time, they're building their resume and earning very marketable skills that people are looking for in the job market right now. And then it's a win for the employers that hire them afterwards because they're getting well-trained, really motivated candidates that are committed to the city, have a real sense of environmental literacy and energy efficiency, and are hardworking.
So I have a question about that, the whole process of Cool Roofs. So how many buildings in New York are really doing this, are turning their roofs into Cool Roofs?
So it's a very certain, and I'm not, you actually, when you speak to Zakia later on today, she'll be able to shed a little bit more light on this because it's only certain buildings that are even eligible. So more modern, newer buildings, it's already, there's already codes that enforce that people have to have energy efficient buildings. And then there's buildings that are old and are either damaged or unsafe or don't have a flat enough roof or don't have the criteria. And so what we do in the New York City Cool Roofs program is we work with building owners that either are nonprofits or house nonprofits, and we go out and assess the rooftops and make sure that they qualify for the program based on, do they have edging on the side so people don't fall off? Do they have too many holes that need to be repaired before we can do a cool roof? So there's all this criteria that Zakia will be much better versed in than me to figure out if a roof can qualify. And then once it does, it goes in our pipeline. And then we run 2 cohorts of our Cool Roofs program a year. We can only do it from April through October based on temperature. The coating can't freeze. And then we go out there and we do lots of coating. In total, this program, over all the years it's been running, has coated 11 million square feet of rooftop in New York City.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we have to take a break before we go and talk to the people who are part of this and out here rolling the white stuff onto the roof. But thank you for talking to us, and also thank you for doing this. This is really extraordinary, and you're really giving people lives that are so important, and having this kind of work is so important.
Yeah, I think it's about transformation on all different fronts.
Yes. So thanks.
Thanks for having me.
welcome back to our great morning with the Hope program. And now we're going to be talking to two people who are working here and who are participants in the program. So thank you very much. I want to introduce Ikea Saeed and also to introduce Anitza Bermudez. So Ikea, let's start with you. So how did you get involved with this program?
Yes, so
You are clearly you got the stuff.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Zakia. I've been working with the Hope program for 2.5 years. And I've been working on a number of projects. I've worked with our Intervine program, which is a horticultural program, as well as our New York City Cool Roofs program, which you all have been covering today, which is a program to paint rooftops for energy efficiency and climate change.
So did you know about all of this before and got involved because you were interested in environmental work and workforce development in that area, or how did you begin to even think about all this?
Yeah, so my background is actually in green design. I have an engineering degree in green design, and this was a great opportunity for me to apply what I've learned in my city. So I love both of these programs because it helps me to apply my knowledge around the environmental sustainability with a real practical sort of reasoning around workforce development in New York City.
You know, when I hear about people losing jobs now or who are not having jobs, don't have jobs that give them the opportunities, I often think about programs like this, which is just the opposite. These are the jobs of the future, I would think. And so, Anitza, how did you find this?
Thank you. I agree with what you're saying about, finding places that would support you financially. I found this through another program called New. It's basically a pre-apprenticeship program for women interested in construction. And so upon graduation from that, they provide you with interim jobs, and Cool Roofs was one of those jobs. And it stuck out to me, and I said, why not? Like, it was perfect fit.
So were you thinking about environmental issues and thinking about concern about that? And
so, yeah, when I was in the other program, two of the trades that I thought of doing was either electrical or plumbing, because those are two things that are needed all over the world. And, I feel like that was a way for me to be able to help not only New York City, but, countries where, my family hail from, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti. And so, yeah, so it just, like I said, it went hand in hand with it, and it catered to my humanitarian heart.
And how do you feel that now that you're in it, now that you're doing it?
Now that I'm in it, I mean, sky's the limit. Every other day, I'm looking for another way that I could, another program or something I can do to like help and not only elevate my career choices, but give me something to do that I love. So, I was telling Zakia when we had our interview, our one-on-one, I was like, there's so many things I want to do. I don't feel like I have enough time in my lifetime to complete it all. But I'm definitely trying to attempt to do a little bit of everything. So it really is an honor and a blessing.
Oh, that's wonderful. And it's also, what a great thing to say that you don't have enough time to do everything you want to do when so many people are struggling, trying to figure out what they want to do. And Zakia, I heard you mention that you had other jobs in New York City, done other kinds of projects. What was your background before this in terms of other projects that you worked on?
So with the Hope program, I have been working on energy efficiency projects with the Intervine social enterprise. So I first came on as a consultant with that project. Then I started working as a crew supervisor for the Intervine program, which is the horticulture job training program, as well as then coming on to Cool Roofs. Prior to that, I was doing youth development in Harlem, in New York City. So yeah, definitely passionate about work with people and the environment.
So what do you see as the future of, it's a big question, but as the future of environmental jobs? Because I think another thing that happens is that people talk about the need for them, but they never see this. This is real. I mean, if you say we're going to put this stuff on the roof, it's going to bring down the temperature. It's real, and And so what's your feeling about how environmental jobs are being presented or not presented? Either one of you.
Yeah. I think we have a tough task ahead of us, right? Because it is about the practicality of the jobs right here, right? Painting a roof. It's also about policy that supports this kind of work. It's also about funding that supports this kind of work. So I think a lot of us have the vision, and it's really about partnering to make sure that it happens. One of the things that I really love is that the city is supporting this work. And I think that's really important for making sure that people have jobs in this industry, you know.
Right. And Yenelsida, where did you see yourself going when this came along in terms of work?
This is just I want to say it's a stepping stone of sorts. So open, it's opening doors to like other avenues and ventures. But like, what I want to do initially is be an electrician, and then get into solar. So I want to get into the electrical portion of solar and help develop that forward, because that's something that not only New York City can benefit from, it's also, I'm more on a global type of spectrum. Like I'm thinking big picture, like yes, start small here, but really it's once that knowledge is out there and everything is, in place, it's really, sky's the limit.
But it is true that the same problems are happening all over the world. So starting with the Bronx or working, but you don't just work on projects in the Bronx, correct?
So we work on Cool Roofs all across the city. Last week we were in Sunset Park and Bedford-Stuyvesant. So we're doing this all over New York.
So I know that you have to stop at a certain point because the weather causes you to have to stop. So how many, during the time period that you can actually work, how many roofs can you get done?
So you mean in a season, or you mean in a week?
Yeah, that's what I meant, in a season.
Yeah, so we aim to do 1 million square feet a year, which is a huge task. Since the beginning of the project, New York City Cool Roofs has coated 11 million square feet. So it's hard to speak in roofs because this roof is a lot larger than the roofs we were on last week. So that's why we speak in square feet. But yeah, we are well on our way.
And so just to give a sense for people watching, this is about how many square feet, this project right here?
This project is 30,000 square feet. This is actually the largest roof that this particular crew has been on this season. Yes.
And so does the same crew work? Do you work everybody who's in the program all come to the roofs as you find a roof, or is there a 10-person roof and a 20-person roof?
Right. So no, it's one cohort, right? And so over the 10 to 11 weeks that the cohort is running, we'll have our crew going to different places. Sometimes we'll break them up into smaller crews. So Yenelsida is a crew leader, one of my 3 crew leaders. And so we might have her crew go take a roof, another crew take another roof, or like today, we're all hands on decks on one roof.
So here's what I hope. I totally appreciate you taking time out of the work that you're doing here on the roof to talk to us, but I really hope people watch this and understand that these are opportunities that are really changing our planet, changing the world, and as you said, it can happen all over the world.
And I think it's really important for people to know that we can actually do something, right? Because I think a lot of us are really disheartened and upset about what's going on and what's happening with the planet. And this is kind of just a snapshot for us in our daily work that this is something that we can all contribute to. So.
Well, I have to say, you two are great examples of that. And I love it that there's so many women doing this work and that we interviewed 2 women. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
That's all we have time for today, but I hope you've enjoyed this visit as much as we have to look at the wonderful work the HOPE program is doing. If you've missed any part of it or you want to see it again, just go to BronxNet.tv and look for Mission BX. And come and visit with us again when we go to visit another wonderful nonprofit here in the Bronx. Thank you.
Ready what you begging. We must fight, I dream for